Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Sunday Scrapbook 101. Rose Ward, Stampersdelight.com. Thank you so much for joining, and we're going to get started. So for today's video, what I'm going to be using is in the mini catalog, and that is the Flowering Fields Suite on page 14 and 15. I'm going to be using this die from the Flowering Tulips, and I'm going to be using some of the dies from Tulip Fields. If you'd like to place an order with me, you can go to Stampersdelight.com and use this host code for January. Okay, so let's just take a look at these items here. Here are the two stamp sets. And I'll show you, this is the die that I'm going to be using from Flowering Tulips, and several dies from Tulip Fields, which is the windmill, which is 3 pieces. I've already cut those out, and I'm using Poppy Parade. So let me show you the pieces here that I cut out. So here's my little windmill. And then here's the 3 pieces that I cut out from the Flowering Tulips. I'm going to put those right there for a minute. Also, I want to remind you, there's a couple days left to join my online class, which is the Hello Ladybugs. And here's a couple of cards that I did with that bundle. So the description below tells you how to join in on that online class, and that ends January 10th, so you want to definitely sign up for that. Okay, so let's grab these pieces so I can show you. Here's the Poppy Parade and a piece of the Designer Series paper. Let's move these out of the way before I lose them. Okay. And then another piece of 12 by 12 Poppy Parade. So the first one is going to be this. And you can see they're the same size, so I need to trim that down a bit. So let me get my paper trimmer out. And I'm just going to trim this down just a little bit on each side. So about a ½ inch, just so I can get a little border. And then I'll flip it around this way and trim off a little bit here. It's not even... probably about a ½ inch on each side. And let's see how that fits on there. So you can see now I have this little border there. So let's go ahead and glue that down. You can see it's the two-sided Designer Series paper. And hopefully you caught my Facebook Live Friday morning with cards from the Flowering Tulips, and Monday night on YouTube I'll do the second part of the Tulip Fields. So there's the start of my first page. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in those flowers first, and I'm going to layer those. Whoop, let's move this up. I'm going to layer those right here, just like that. And just see if I got all my little pieces out. You take your pick tool, should be here. So I want these to end up right here. So I want that like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little liquid glue for this. And I'm just going to put a little liquid glue. Let me grab my other bottle. My full bottle. You could also use our adhesive sheet. Sometimes I don't use the adhesive sheets in the beginning because I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, and I don't want the adhesive sheets all over. So I'm just going to add a little glue down here, and I'm going to lay that right down there on the edge of my paper. I'm going to add this one behind it. So just like that. So let's add a little glue here. I'm going to hold it up so I don't get it on my paper. Less is more with this. I'm going to lift that up, just slide that behind here. Move that over a little bit. And if it needs to be trimmed, I can trim it. Okay, so you see a little bit left over there. I'll just grab my paper snips and just trim that off, although you're not going to really see it because I'm going to put the windmill there. Just trimming off a little piece here. There we go. All right, and then I have my larger piece, which is going to go right back there. Okay, just like that. So again, I'm going to add a little glue here. And I really would, on these pieces, use the adhesive sheets if you're more comfortable with that. Okay, so there's my flowers. Now I'm going to bring in my little windmill. And this piece is going to go right on top of there. So again, I'm going to take this piece, the more detailed one, and I'm just going to put a little bit of liquid glue on these pieces here. Put a little bit here and here. All right. And I am going to add that over to the side so that I don't get glue onto my paper that I'm working on. All right, so that's the start of my windmill. Now I'm going to bring in the windmill piece, and you can see there's a little hole there and one here. So normally I would have my take your pick tool, but I'm just going to use my paper piercing old tool, and I'm just going to put a hole right through that. Okay. And then I'm going to grab from the annual catalog our round and square brads, and I'm going to grab a little black one. They're very small, but there's one right there. Let's just grab that one. And then I'm just going to put that brad right back there to hold that into place. And you just spread those little things like that. And there's my windmill. My windmill is going to go right here. I'm going to grab some dimensionals for that, because I do want that popped up on the page. So let's just grab a couple of these. What I like to do is put one dimensional right over that. And then I'll grab another one over here, and maybe a third one right at the bottom. That little windmill is going to go right there. That's why I said you don't really have to cut that off, because you're not going to see that. Okay, so there's the start of my page, and there'll be still shots on my blog, Stampersdelight.com, so you definitely want to check that out. Now, I brought in some pieces of the Poppy Parade, and I've already cut these down to map my pictures on them. And here are the pictures. Now, the pictures are actually from Greece when we went to see the windmills, and that was in Mykonos. So I have one there, and I wanted that one because it really brings out these flowers. And that says welcome. The other one is going to be right here, and that's my husband and my friend Donna Gray taking pictures. And then we have one of Donna, Daryl, and Reggie, and that's going to actually go on there. So let's go ahead and glue those down. For this, I'm using my Stampin Seal. And this matting is 4.5 by 4.5, and then I cut the picture to 4 by 4. That's going to go right here. And then this picture is a 4 by 6, so this paper right here is 4.25 by 6.25, just so that I have a little bit of a border. Leave that little There's a little piece on here. Let me just get it off. There we go. Lay that down. And then this one, I didn't measure this one, so let me tell you what the measurements are. The matting is 5 1/4 by a little over 4 1/4. And then, of course, I just cut the picture down by about 1/8. Let's go ahead and do this one. And then I have one more picture, and this is of all the windmills, and that's going to go nicely on there. Again, that's 4 1/4 by 6 1/4, so that the 4 by 6 picture fits nicely on there. And let's see how I'm going to arrange these now. Okay, so I want all the pictures on here, so I think the best way is going to be like this. And I can just move that. Or I can just flip it and do this. Nope, I'm going to leave it like that. Okay, so there's where I want my pictures. I don't want to cover Donna's face, so we're going to go with this right here. We had such a great time on this trip, and we are so waiting to go on the next one together. I met Donna in person on that cruise, and we just hit it off so well. We've become fast, close friends for life. Put that one right there. And then this one. We'll add that right there. And then the picture of, now these windmills don't look exactly like this windmill. These are more of a Dutch windmill. But again, this is the windmills that we saw in Mykonos. And I am going to just add that right here. Okay. And you can glue that little piece down if you want to, but I'm not going to. There's my first page. Look at that. Now the second page I'm going to do is actually from a calendar that I had used that year from Greece, and had all these gorgeous pictures of Greece. And I found one on the calendar for Mykonos, and there you can see that windmill again. And I just cut that calendar down. You'll see on the other side it's a calendar, but just such a gorgeous picture. So I'm going to use that right here. There we go. So there's my second page. Look at that. Quick, easy, great pages. I don't think I can go out any further. Oop, that goes too far in. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you both together, but there will be still shots. Now what I've already done is I printed this out on the computer, and this just tells us when it was and where it was. We can just put this here for a second. So I have this little piece right here, and I'm going to layer that on a piece of cardstock. And then I'll probably put it up there because that's where I have the room. So what I'm going to do is, before I cut it, I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And then I'll bring in my paper trimmer and just trim that. If you watch my videos, you know I don't measure a lot of things. I do it by just eyeballing it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And then this would have been, actually I kind of like that right there. Yeah, I'm going to do it like that. Instead of putting it on this picture, I'll put it right here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. And put that right in the middle here. So now I have a nice 2-page layout from Greece with the windmill. And then again, the second page is going to be that gorgeous photo from the calendar. So I hope you enjoyed this week's Scrapbook Sunday 101. And I hope you'll tune back in for next Sundays. And also Monday night YouTube Live, where I will be showcasing this stamp set with some cards. And if you didn't see my Friday Facebook Live, you're going to want to go back and watch that one. It's also on YouTube with the flowering tulips. And just to show you a card that I did Friday with both sets, there you go. So there's that windmill again with the flowers, and that's a Mother's Day card. So thank you again so much for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, follow me, share my videos, and I will see you back here next Sunday. Keep on scrapbooking, scrapbookers. Bye.